What is going on, you guys? I'm Mike.
I'm Bree.
Welcome to Fracture Compass, and today we are going to be reviewing Monsterpalooza, the Halloween Horror Nights announcement, and just our general thoughts about the whole experience, because it was a fun weekend.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff happened in the haunt world this week. There were some announcements. There were some surprises.
There were definitely some surprises, for sure.
Yeah.
But first, I think we really want to thank you guys, the viewers, because, you know, we reached out on social media saying that we needed 1,000 subscribers because YouTube kind of put forward this, you know...
New rule
that kind of hurt us. We don't have 1,000 subscribers yet, and we wanted to do a live stream of Monsterpalooza, and the new rule says that we're not allowed to live stream unless we have 1,000. So... real quick here, we just want to say a big thank you to the following names.
Thank you to Kyle, John, Ruth, Alicia, Jennifer, Cameron, Nikki, Peyton, Adam, Arl, Jessica, and Instagram user at Nerdy Pirate Girl. You guys all shared our cry for help out on the internet. You
guys really spread the word, and it really did help us boost up to almost 1,000. We started at what,
668, and
now we're
now at
72.
Is it 72? So 872.
But I mean, thank you guys so much for, you know, the overwhelming response that you guys gave to us, the support. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have reached that subscriber count that quickly.
Yeah.
And so from the bottom of our hearts, thank you guys for all your help, and thank you for watching. And so with that being said, why don't we...
I would say thank you for everyone watching, because...
No, only the people that helped. I'm just kidding.
No.
No, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you to everyone watching. We don't have a channel without you guys, and that is, I think that's in mine and Jackie and Mike's mind in foremost, that we don't exist without you, and we never will.
Yeah.
Ever.
So, keep liking our videos so we know that you're still there. Because we will not exist. We'll turn into dust if you don't like our video.
It'll be like Back to the Future, where we just fade away.
Oh no, I was thinking more like Avengers, like...
Oh, the snap? Okay, I was going retro with that.
Oh, okay. I'm just too up with the times right now, aren't I? So,
anyways.
Okay, so let's talk about Monsterpalooza.
Let's talk about Monsterpalooza. It was my first time going to Monsterpalooza. It was Jackie's first time going to Monsterpalooza. It was yours as well?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a great time at this event, and it was very much geared towards the creativity side of haunt.
Yeah.
So there was Immortal masks were there. They had their masks out there. You had a bunch of sculptors. You had painters. Just a lot of creators out there in the haunt industry than like the boutique stuff.
Yeah.
Which you'll find at like Midsummer Scream. Now there was still boutique stuff there, but this was, I would say, 80% on the creative side.
Definitely. And like when they were, you know, when we first walked in, well, first of all, when they were doing like the makeup and they were just putting together like, you know, the pieces and stuff on like people's faces, I was like, okay, this is something different. Like they're actually sitting in a chair, applying makeup, sitting there for like 3 hours, and we can watch this process. I thought that was really special. But I was just really like impressed with just the creative side of it. In terms of just products that people had, the paintings, the art, definitely some of like the little trinkets that they make out of like just scrap metal. Like it was amazing. And also like, and I know that I haven't been to too many horror conventions, so like I'm kind of a newbie when I'm saying this, but there were so many people from like reputable films like Ash from the Evil Dead, Linda Blair was there, and like it was so crazy seeing all of those people.
Yes, it was.
They were there.
Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell, by the way, was there Saturday and Sunday, I believe, and his line, because somebody had put up on Facebook that I know had waited 2 hours for Bruce Campbell's autograph, and I was trying to get an autograph, but unfortunately I could not afford an autograph. I wanted to get
the Jason mask, right?
Was this Kane Hodder? I wanted to get Kane Hodder's autograph, and I wanted it on a mask, and I wanted him to sign it, and I was like, $80.
Well, we were thinking.
I know.
We were thinking like we're gonna like get like a signed autograph for the channel as a giveaway, and then like we were looking at that mask, and we were like, if we're gonna spend $80 on that mask, we're keeping it.
Keep it.
But we did get, I think, a pretty cool item from that convention, and we're gonna actually give it away to you guys, but not just yet. We're gonna kind of wait until the Halloween season approaches a little more. So stay tuned, because that will be a very fun giveaway.
Yeah, we do have more giveaways, but unfortunately, yeah, $80 was a little bit out of my budget this time. But next year, maybe. So keep subscribing. Keep watching, because there may be a Kane Hodder Jason mask
You're not
in
promising
the future.
anything.
Not promising anything.
It was like the quality of the products there were definitely, it was, you can tell, you know, and they had like, what are those masks called?
Immortal.
The Immortal masks. They had an entire wall full of these Immortal masks, and they were like, yeah, touch it, see what they would feel like. I was like, $800 for a mask, and then I like felt the mask, and it was like skin. Like it actually felt, and it was like they could move. If you like, you put on the mask and you speak, it'll like speak with you, like it matches your face perfectly. Incredible, just how detailed those masks were. Now, am I gonna spend $800 on a mask I'll probably only wear once? No, but I know people out there that will get good use out of that mask, and so if you're looking for that high quality and you have the budget, that's Monsterpalooza was a great place to check it out. Did Midsummer have those masks? No.
I don't remember if Immortal was at Midsummer last year, but they are at a lot of the creative.
Because it was the first time I saw those masks.
Well, and I think what stood out at Monsterpalooza is Immortal had basically this giant wall. And I mean, it was hard to, you couldn't miss it. It was a giant wall of probably 100+ masks on that wall.
And each one was detailed.
Each one was in exquisite condition.
Yeah.
And
there wasn't one that was like, oh, they didn't really try.
No. Mike was like Mike's right. If you've ever get the chance to touch an Immortal mask, because it's made of silicone, it's soft. It's soft like skin. Like you just kind of want to cuddle with it.
I think of you ever watched that Goosebumps episode where like she puts on the haunted mask and then she turns into the creature? That's how I feel like that mask would be. If I put on that mask, I'd like doot.
And it's supposed to act like a makeup. And so instead of sitting and getting all, prosthetics and things put on you, you put the Immortal mask on, it kind of to your skin, and you become that creature. You become it. So I know we've been doing a lot of short stories, so maybe in a year or so, we might need an Immortal mask. And I will have to save up. You know how many chores I'm going to have to do for
You know how much food I'm not going to eat in order for me to afford that?
But if we need it,
well, get it. Or get it. And that will not be a giveaway. I'm sorry, viewers. Let's talk about, first of all, every single time I go to an event, I always think, there's not enough Creature from the Black Lagoon. And that's like my favorite. They always showcase the other monsters, and there's never Creature. And this event, it was throwing up Creature from the Black Lagoon in your face.
So much. In fact, there was actually a booth there. There was actually a table there that was showing Creature of the Black Lagoon, the original, and it was in 3D. So you could put 3D glasses on and look at it. And I need to experience Creature of the Black Lagoon in 3D.
I have it in 3D.
Do you have it in 3D?
Yeah. Yeah, I have it.
You're holding out on me.
Yeah, I have I mean, you need a 3D TV, and I don't have it anymore, but yeah.
Why do we need a 3D? We don't need 3D TV?
In order to watch a 3D movie, yeah.
I'm sad now.
Well, I mean, it's also on regular, but anyway. Okay. We lose track so easily. No. Creature from the Black Lagoon was amazing. You even have a little pin. I'm just so happy that it was there.
Pin. It was. There was a lot of it. And that was one of the things that we said wasn't actually represented in the Monster Maze at HHN was Creature of the Black Lagoon. So I'm still saying that they're probably going to come out with Monsters Revisited and add Creature of the Black Lagoon. And let's get into that
a little later when we talk about the panels, because I totally thought the same thing. I'm like, oh, they're going to announce Monsters Volume 2. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. But in terms of just the event as a whole, really amazing. I'm happy that they had some sort of Silent Hill something there. Mm-hmm. Silent Hill to me is like a very, very big part of my life. I love Silent Hill. And so they had an actual full like bobblehead nurse statue that was there. And then I was telling them the whole time, like, if you see any Silent Hill anything, flag me down, find it, I'll buy it. And they ended up only having like 2 posters or a couple posters of it, so I bought them.
It's okay.
But they still had something.
Yeah. So, in review, if you guys ever get to go to Monsterpalooza, it is a must. The amount of monster celebrities that are there, the amount of creators that are there, the amount of just... It's so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming.
Yeah.
We walked the show floor on Friday for about 2.5 hours, and I just felt like I'd been like smacked in the face. It was just way creature overload. It was just so much.
And can we talk about the crowd levels real quick? Because I only went on Sunday. You guys went Friday and...
We went Friday night. We went Friday and Sunday.
So what were the crowds like
Friday
then?
night. Okay, so let me put this in perspective. And you ladies, if you follow Love, Paint, and Stitches, they do the they do the jack-o'-lantern purses.
They did have a black Phillip.
And they can do custom. Love, Paint, and Stitches can do custom, but, you know, obviously custom raises the price. So let me put it in perspective. Friday, there was no line for them at all. You could just walk up to the booth, buy something, and walk away. And there were a lot of people there, but there was not as much as there was probably Saturday and Sunday, because Sunday, when I saw the Love, Paint, and Stitches booth again, the line was out the door. We went into the Creature Museum, or the Horror Museum, and we got in about 2 minutes on Friday. On Sunday, it was all the way back, like, wrapped around.
And you know about Sunday that I thought, like, okay, I'm going to have so much anxiety because how crowded it's going to be. Because when we got there, it was around like 10:30. The event opened up at 11, and the line was around the block, behind the building, behind the Starbucks, and then it zigzagged. And so we were at the very end of that zigzag, and when I went in there, I was like, this is going to be miserable. Like, we're going to have nowhere to walk. And it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, yeah, you were kind of like, there were some moments where you had to shuffle through people, but in general, I was able to walk freely for the most part and look at all the exhibits without having to, like, just shove people to the side, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't crazy, but there's a lot of people there. Yeah. So if you have a problem with crowds, just come prepared for that, because there were sometimes like it bottlenecked and you're like, and then you're like, okay.
And I think when the cosplayers came by, like that one guy that had the giant wings, I was like, that's cool. Why did you wear that at this event? Because no one could get by you now, because it was literally like people were like trying not to destroy his wings. And I appreciate that he did cosplay, but I think Monsterpalooza for me was probably an event where, like, if you're wearing some elaborate costume that's going to take up a lot of space, you might be a little miserable trying to like shuffle your way through the people and the crowds trying to take pictures of you and stuff.
Pasadena Convention Center is a very nice convention center.
It is.
But it's very tight.
That's the best way I can describe it. And I like how tight.
It's just tight. And there were cosplayers there, but I didn't see an overabundance.
No, there wasn't a whole lot. Not like
Midsummer. Midsummer has an overabundance of cosplayers, and I love every single outfit that because people go way out, and I love it.
The creativity.
But there's not a lot. Monsterpalooza is really going to look at the artists and the creators and kind of learn about that.
And so why don't we touch upon the panels that they had there, because that was obviously the big part of the event, was that there were panels. And so there was one panel that I'm really, really sad that I missed, and we had to miss this panel because we wanted to go to the Halloween Horror Nights one right after, and we had to wait in line. But that was the Alien 40th anniversary panel, because Alien is amazing and I love it, and it is the 40th year anniversary of Alien. That's crazy. And we missed that one because we knew that if we went into that panel, we would not probably have terrible seats for the Halloween Horror Nights announcement with John Murdy. And so we decided, okay, we're going to go to the Halloween Horror Nights one, but you guys just have to plan out your day accordingly when it comes to the panels, because they're right after each other, and there's always a line outside the theater waiting for the next panel. So plan that for the next time, and I'm sure it's going to be the same way at Midsummer when they have their panels, if they do. But that's one thing that I'm kind of sad that I missed. But let's talk about the Halloween Horror Nights panel, because that was probably the big reason why we went. We wanted to know what the new maze was going to be announced.
Absolutely. And we knew that it was probably going to be half of, like, whatever they wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we were discussing that too.
Yeah, because we were like, it's going to be half of whatever they want to talk about. Like, we did this music for this or whatever. And then we would get an act. That's how every panel is. And you know what? I'm not going to say, like, Knott's doesn't do the same thing. You know they're just gonna talk
like your eye roll.
about a half hour of whatever they want to talk about, and then they're gonna get to what everybody wants to know.
Yeah. Well, and they were talking about the Monsters Universal Maze, and that's fitting because of Monsterpalooza. I thought they were going to talk about Stranger Things because it was such a big, but they're talking about, and so that was really exciting to see, like, you know, the pressure that they felt because Universal Monsters is obviously a huge canon to Universal. It's classic, and so they felt that pressure. It was good to know, but this whole time that they were talking about building the maze and trying to make the maze perfect, I was like, they're going to announce Universal Monsters Volume 2 as the new maze this year. And so I was like...
We all did.
All right, this is what's going to happen. And then left field, they announced Holidays in Hell.
Okay, and by the way, if you guys were there, when they were like, are you guys ready for an announcement? We're like, yeah, and all of a sudden...
Played the video, and it was like...
Play the video, and I swear you just watched everybody's heads just...
It was like the sound wave.
And if people were filming, you probably saw like do this.
I shaked a little.
Because the sound wave was so... Usually there's a build-up. This was not a build-up. This was like a sledgehammer to your face.
True Universal fashion.
It was
Strobe light scream effect.
Dubstep, like just
Yeah, it's not Universal without a jump scare.
So all of us were like, what?
And I was the one that was filming the panel, and so when that happened, I was like, oh, like trying to keep the camera steady.
And your camera equalized the sound, so it didn't even make it sound like it was that bad.
Yeah.
It was
my camera,
bad.
we have the Mark II, and so the camera was like adjusting the volume, and it did it really quickly.
Yeah.
It was not that mellow.
No.
It was loud.
If you guys are like, it didn't sound bad to me, it was bad, you guys. And we were in the second row. Like, I mean, that sound wave should have just flattened out the audience and knocked all our
like an
chairs
atomic
back.
blast
It
of
was,
nuclear
seriously,
war.
there should have been a mushroom cloud of audio. That's how it was.
And then you're so extra.
And then it announced Holidays in Hell. And for me, I'm kind of like, son of a, because they forced you last year to go through that scare zone. There was no way to get into the back lot without walking through that scare zone. They did it on purpose. And I'm wondering if they were trying to test out
I'm sure.
how people would comment about that scare zone. So
Well, you
by
remember what
forcing
you
you to go
said.
through it.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No,
Go
it's
ahead.
okay. So yeah, so by forcing you to go through it, people would comment on it, or they'd be like, hey, I like that.
And you know what they said too? They were like, they originally they wanted that to be a maze, and so they made it a scare zone. I remember when we walked through it, we were like, that's really cool. That was a really cool... It was crowded because it was the only path to get to the back lot. Mm-hmm. Had it not been so crowded, that would have been really, really cool. And I think it will translate well to a maze. I was a little like, and then when they were talking about each section and their thought plans and their inspirations, I was like, I am on board. Fully.
I'm on board with it. I'm not going to be salty about it. I'm on board with it.
Be salty about it.
No, I mean, okay, so I'm on board with it.
Be salty about it. Go ahead. Salt Bay.
I'm on board with it, and I understood like how he was coming, where he was coming from with the postcards and like how things are creepy. And I totally admit, I'm like looking at these postcards like, why is this a thing? Like in the 40s and 50s, like there was a little creepy.
Yeah, they were.
But with that said, like, I'm more looking forward to the maze as, like, a fun house. Like, I love taking holidays or taking something and twisting it around. Like, I like doing that, but I don't think it's going to be scary. So I'm looking at it going, like, oh, I'm like, ooh, I'm excited. It's going to be, like, one of those, like, carnival scare zone funhouse things where you go through it, because that's kind of like the feel that I'm going to get from it. And at this point, we got Stranger Things seasons 2 and 3, and we have Holidays in Hell. And I'm looking forward to them, but I'm not going to be scared by them.
And I'm kind of on the opposite when it comes to like how I feel about Holidays in Hell and it being scary, because for me, like, little things really do affect me, and so I'm more of a wimp when it comes to like an evil looking Easter bunny. I'm like, oh god, I don't like it, you know. Like, so,
Or a peep.
or like peeps, you know, melted peeps and stuff like that. So like those like twisted, demented things that they're gonna add to this maze, like a good spin on each holiday, I'm gonna really enjoy. I do think that it is gonna be, for me, like the twisted part of it and the demented part of it reminds me a little like Delirium when it comes to like the creative aspect, and and Delirium scared me because it was so. In terms of that, I think I'm gonna be freaked out by it. I'm not gonna be freaked out in Stranger Things. Like, Stranger Things didn't scare me last year.
No, it was just cool.
And it was just cool, and I'm happy it's back. But like, I'm happy that, and I even said like I want to do an original maze. I want them to do an original maze. And so some people were commenting, this isn't an original maze because it was a scare zone, but it's not an IP. So to me, I'm just going to say, yep, it's an original maze. It's not based off a movie. So I'll just take it there.
And I absolutely agree with you. It's an original maze, and I like that.
And there's other people that don't agree that it's an original. Like, some people say, like, no, it's not an original. They did it as a scare zone last year.
What I think by original is it's not an intelligent property. It's not an IP.
Yeah, that's
It's not something that we took a movie and we made a maze out of it. So Universal went in that direction of, okay, we're going to make this is not a movie, because that's been their MO the entire time, is that it's just been, we've taken a script, we made a maze. We took a script, we made a maze. Okay, so now we took Holidays in Hell. We made it a scare zone. We forced everybody to go through it. People were like, yeah, it was really cool. Let's do it into a maze.
Yeah.
Could they go deeper into like original mazes, like knots and things too? Yes, they do. And they do that over in other areas, like in Orlando and stuff like that. They take those. But I think that this is a start. So I'm gonna swing it on the positive, that it's a start towards more original stuff. And maybe that might become their MO, is like they're gonna make it a scare zone first and see what they can do, and if people are happy with it, then.
And you remember last year or 2 years ago, they did at Orlando, they did a trick or treat scare zone, and then they made it into a maze. I think it's a good like testing, like, well, okay, let's see. And that wasn't an original, that was a movie that they. So I don't think people don't look at the trick or treat maze and go like, oh, like they already did this a scare zone last year, this isn't like a good maze because I've already seen it. Like, no, it's going to be completely different. There's new concepts, new themes, and it's going to be, so I have a feeling that like some people are going to say, no, it's not really an original maze. I think it's an original maze, and I hope it's good, because did you hear that? Hope. I hope it's good. Because I think it's a good concept. And you know what's interesting to me is that as they're going through each holiday, they didn't do, there's a piece of hair right there. They didn't go through the Halloween part of it. And so are they going to do Halloween? They didn't.
They didn't.
They did not showcase Halloween. They went from 4th of July, and then they went to Thanksgiving. Christmas.
They didn't.
Where'd the skeleton jump out? Did they do Dia de los Muertos?
No.
No?
He's right.
Ooh, observant I am.
I am shocked right now.
So that's interesting. I want to know, are they not going to touch upon it, or are they saving that because that's such a big, obviously it's the Halloween season, so they want Halloween to be great. You okay? It's going to be where the Monsters maze was last year, and like was it the Parisian, what's it called?
Yeah, we have some footage of that we can show you. It's going to take up it's a very large footprint.
And it will go into a scare zone. So once you exit the maze, it'll go through like, holiday, like a Christmas themed scare zone, and that one looks great.
And by the way, when they showed Baby New Year up there on the screen, which it looks grotesque, but the actor's 5'3", and I was all, Baby New Year.
You would be a good Baby New Year. Yeah, you would. I think I would like to be Jack Frost. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But they would just have to.
I would walk around
Frost
with
me.
this tumor baby on me. That would be my costume.
Oh wait, are you talking about like in the scare zone or actually in the maze where they're gonna have the
In
baby
the maze.
and the black
Did you
silhouette?
see it? It's
Yeah.
the black silhouette is a 5'3" person.
But I don't know if they're gonna do
Everything.
that for the scare zone because there's gonna be a
No.
Baby New Year in the scare zone too.
I don't know.
Well-
It's on Baby New Year.
On that overall thought, so your thoughts on the panel in general? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
The panel was good. I liked them talking about the monster maze, and then the sound blast mushroom cloud that happens for Holidays in Hell. But this isn't the first time that we've had a holidays scare zone. It's just been mini because they had Krampus. They had
Which we loved. We loved Krampus.
well, not the maze, but do you remember the tiny scare zones, the holidays scare zones that they had before?
Yeah, they did like dark Christmas.
Dark Christmas.
Dark Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And they had like a Krampus. But I was just talking about the Krampus maze. We enjoyed it.
Oh, I loved Krampus. I think that's why I'm like, oh, okay.
And I loved going through that one scene with the gingerbread, and I was like, oh, it smells so good in here.
The gingerbread characters are my favorite. Like that's
Little
like
evil minions.
absolute favorite. Like I wish they had a little like evil gingerbread man that I could like put on my vest right
I'm
here.
sure they have some.
They probably have something. But I am looking forward to the next maze announcement, and I hope we're going into the scary direction because I'm excited for these mazes, but I don't think I'm gonna be scared by these mazes. And Universal to me has always been more stressful and scary than any other haunt that I've been to.
Yeah, because
So-
if if you're walking down and then someone jumps out at you, combined with a strobe light, combined with a very loud noise, you're gonna jump.
Well-
and so that's how you know, like, not Scary Farm is like, okay, the scare actor is completely reliant on scaring you.
Right.
Halloween Horror Nights, it's the strobe effect and the noise that's really what's getting you. I mean, yeah, someone's jumping out at you, but like when they press the trigger, you have no choice but to jump, and so there's the big difference. It's like
And
Halloween
that-
Horror Nights is more reliant on the triggers. Scary Farm is more reliant on just the actor getting you, and so that's why it's stressful because it's like, well, I can't like not jump when something's coming at me, and sometimes it gets a little annoying. Sometimes I'm like, okay.
So one more thing that happened in the haunt world this week is, or was it last week? Anyways, who cares?
This month.
This month, is that Warner Brothers announced that they will not be doing their haunt event.
I know. That's very, very interesting to me. What are your thoughts about that? First off,
So my thoughts. Okay, my thoughts. One, I'm all like, we were gonna go this year. We were
were.
absolutely gonna go. Horror Made Here. We were gonna go, and now we are not because they're not doing it. Which I'm kind of like, my pocketbook is kind of smiling.
yeah, my credit card is definitely happy right now.
But I am frowning. And second, is that going to affect some of the mazes that will come out for HHN?
Yes.
And
We don't know.
for me, like I thought the mazes were already set because I'm following John Murdy on Twitter, and what he's saying, he's like, okay, I did maze 6 and I did maze 7 or whatever, and he came up with some last minute concepts, so
Yes.
we're going back and forth. But then I was like, but then they came out, then Warner Brothers made their announcement. Okay, now I'm thinking, well, he said he was already done with the mazes before Warner Brothers came out with their announcements, but at the same time, would Warner Brothers hey, John Murdy, we're not doing this stuff right now, and they make some money by licensing out their product.
And
to
the
HHN.
biggest product that I would hope to see at Halloween Horror Nights this year specifically is It. Because It Chapter 2 is going to be released in September, and we obviously know that It Chapter 1 was huge in the box office, huge with the fans, huge with the critics, and so that was like
Not huge with you.
not huge with Bree. I loved it. Bree was like, no.
I was in the movie theater, I thought I was gonna die.
Truth. She was not a happy camper. Bree does not do horror films. She does horror events, and She loves Halloween, but when it comes to movies, Bree shuts down and turns into a feral cat.
I am like a 5-year-old child just shaking in the corner, like, I don't know. And I don't know why I'm like this. I can go to any Halloween event, I can walk into any haunted house within reason. Okay, some of those LA ones, I'm like, that's a little too much for me. But horror movies, I just...
Don't like?
I don't like them.
Well, I love Dims. I
know, and Mike is a huge horror fan, so for me to be like, you know what I'm considering watching?
What?
La Llorona.
Really? Really?
I'm considering.
Out of all the horror movies, why that one?
I don't know, because it's coming out, and
Okay.
well,
Okay. For sure.
well, because I was like, this is dumb. Maybe I could handle this because I know the lore of La Llorona. I already know the story. I know what she is and what she's going to do. So maybe it's because there's no, like, unknown to it.
What about it, though?
No, he's scary.
He's scary. It's because he's scary looking.
Well, I don't have clown phobia. What's clown phobia?
Chlorophobia.
Chlorophobia. I don't have a fear of clowns. I don't. We went through the haunted museum and there was like 40 of them.
If you had a fear of clowns,
an inch from my face,
it would be
and
impossible to go through any event.
And I could have cared less, but other than the fact that they were just like an inch from my face. But for some reason, like some of the visuals in that movie made me like really uncomfortable.
I can understand that.
Like it was just really super creepy. And the fact that I don't think he really has to be a clown. I think he could be anything he wants because he's a shapeshifter.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
So he just chooses the clown kind of thing because he's preying on kids and he thinks kids like clowns.
He would appear to me as an empty plate of food. Like, I'm gonna starve. But anyway, it would be a great IP to do this year. I'm very skeptical that it's gonna happen, but if it did happen, awesome. So yeah, that's definitely a very interesting thing. Why did they not bring it back this year? Was it not making enough money? Was there not enough interest? Were people not, there's a lot that I think we have yet to find out. And let us know in the comments down below if you guys have heard anything and you guys know. Please tell us so we can kind of understand more why this event's not happening. Because by the YouTube videos, it looked cool. It looked well done. So I'm interested to see why. Maybe they're just taking a hiatus.
Well, and if you guys are old enough to remember, Universal did the same thing. They did their event for a couple years and then they stopped.
Yeah.
And then they revamped. They revamped and they rejoined the haunt world. So we might be seeing Warner Brothers doing the same thing. And I think there's some changes going on in their backlot area.
Maybe that might be it.
So that might be a factor.
But fingers crossed that hopefully Universal can get an IP maze from Warner Brothers.
Maybe they need to build up more movies. I don't know.
Yeah,
like
something.
to start doing things, but
And the Conjuring universe too is a big one of Warner Brothers that would benefit from a maze for sure.
Yeah.
But, with that being said, go ahead and like this video, subscribe if you guys haven't. Thank you guys so much for watching and thank you for your support. Let us know in the comments down below what your guys' thoughts are on the announcement and the Warner Brothers announcement as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have any information, we'd love to know. And
if you guys went to Monsterpalooza, tell us what your favorite part of it was.
yeah.
Because, again, amazing event.
Yeah. Agreed.
Definitely going back next year.
So, with that being said, always be ready.
Because you never know your compass will take you.
Ooh.